Good day, everyone. Today we'd be taking a look at the Tamiya 135th Russian Army T-72M1. Let's get started. So from the get-go, we can see that Tamiya has molded their T-72 in a certain shade of green. The box comes with about 4 sprues, 2 for the suspension right over here, one for the upper hull and the turrets, as well as the commander figure, and the last would be the other parts. Now we dissect this one by one. So first off, we have the upper hull, finely molded here, as well as the turret parts, the lower and upper. Now I heard that there is a part at the back of the hull wherein when you glue them together, there would be a very deep seam line. So I have to take a look at that, and if ever there is a deep seam line, I would be filling that in. Aside from that, the turret is finely made, and as you can see, there is surface texture. We also have the commander figure that comes with the kit. Next off, we have the suspension, or well, the road wheels. Simple enough, really. We also have the fuel tanks that would go to the back of the tank. Some of the torsion bars up here as well, and also the smoke dischargers. We have the polycaps for the road wheels, idler wheels, and also the drive sprockets. The decals are pretty simple. We have one set for Czechoslovakian use, one for Russian Army use, one for the desert use, and also in particular for the box picture, we have decals for the ex-East German tank. We also have PE set here for the radiator grills, some wire for the tow cable, and this copper wire, as well as the rubber tubing, would be for the fuel tanks, the piping for the fuel tanks. I'll show you in a minute where in the instructions these come in use. Now we have the lower hull, pretty simple. The tracks are finely detailed, as you can see. The back, pretty simple, but it's good enough. Lastly, we have the sprue for the other parts, the side skirts, storage bins. We have the gun right here, the anti-air machine gun, turret hatches, as well as the hull hatches, and other accessory parts. Now next we have the manual here. It's pretty simple, and it's Tamiya's booklet type manual, so you don't really have to go folding up all the way and then folding it back in. So we have a nicely detailed, let's just say, guide for how you can display or how the T-72 looks like. There are also fun facts. Like here, you have the desert service, which instead of a searchlight that should go here, they use a dazzler. You also have the mine plows over here, and also the snorkels. So basically, this is just a fun fact or visual guide as well for the T-72. So simple enough instructions. As you can see here, the PE sets go for the engine grills, and they also have the mesh that go for this part right here. And this is where I was talking about, where you use the copper wires as well as the rubber tubing for the fuel tank piping. So once that comes together, it would be finely detailed as well. They also have this log right here. Now the log was supposedly used for attempting to dislodge the tank whenever it gets bogged down in muddy ground. They would take the log, put it in front of the tracks, and the tank would drive forward, and supposedly once the tanks get traction on the log, it would basically pull itself out. Now the gun is a two-piece mold, so you'd have to deal with the seam line once you glue them together. Third assembly is pretty simple. You have the AA assembly here. And once it's all done, you just put them together and it's pretty simple. As you can see, it also indicates here that if you're going to use the Russian version, or in this case, any Eastern Bloc vehicle, you would have the light over there. But if you're going to do the desert version, you put the dazzler. Now we have instructions for how to color the commander figure, as well as markings and color guides for the tank itself. And at the back, you also have the desert version and the GDR. Now, fun fact, the picture on the box arts, this one, or well, here, this one. Now, the picture depicts a GDR vehicle, as you can see right there on the side. That is clearly in East German service, but at this time, I believe this was paraded as a unified Germany already. So we'd be building this kit as a excuse me, as a GDR vehicle, and probably put some minimal weathering to make the details pop up. Anyhow, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, but if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And as always, thank you for watching. See you again next time.